He still don't know I'm trans.
This boy be in my DM say I'm pretty. This boy be in my DM say I'm pretty. I wonder if he knows.
He didn't know I was transgender, but he looked good though.
You know you was wrong for what you did.
What I do?
You know you were hella wrong for what you did.
What are you talking about?
Really?
What did I do?
So you can't see these other niggas, they won't call you again. That's enough. You're too slow.
Wow, that's a great question. I wasn't expecting that question.
If you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, did a full 180, did a full 180, did a full 180, did a full.
Step one. You caught my attention, and so did she. But what I'm saying is, two thick-ass, beautiful black women walking around downtown just don't happen that way. Y'all must be trying to do some undercover shit.
Put the light on when I hit the go. Gotta shoot two at her. What's up, G-Way? In the cut with my twin, we be vibing. Classy bitch.
Y'all, he doesn't know I'm trans.
Yep, you might as well pick out what color casket you want, my boy, because you finna die.
Going out on date without telling him I'm trans.
Is the definition of fuck around and
Okay, I'll pull up. How about at the after party? You and all your friends, so they love to get naughty. Sipping on it, and I know you love the party. Then you 22, I take you back in the hall. Okay, I'll pull up. How about at the after party?
All right, we're gonna have story time and shit, okay? All right, that's my intent. We're gonna have fucking story time right now. What I'm gonna talk about is the very first time that I ever saw a trans woman and shit, quotation marks and said. I'm gonna talk about the first time I ever saw a trans woman where you wouldn't know that this was biologically a male and whatnot. I throw up in my mouth saying that phrase biologically a male and shit. The reason that I throw up in my mouth is because everything in modern society is a fucking meme, okay? Everything's some kind of, catchphrase or something, some kind of branding. We just do that now and shit. We don't live our life. We live in, a manufactured reality and shit. And it's probably like part of the point why I'm making a goddamn video today and shit, okay? But I want to talk about the first time that I ever encountered a trans woman that was indistinguishable from a real thing and shit, okay? And it was during during my early first year of college, when the first college I went to, it wasn't the last, but I had gotten a job through a former friend. His mother worked at the post office, and she got me a job down there working as a clerk, so I was just like, shoving letters into slots all day, piles of letters and shit. It was easy work. They wasn't really paying anything. Not gonna get into that, but I grew up kind of sheltered and shit, but not that fucking sheltered. But it was good to get out and meet different types of people, right? So, I like going to work. I like doing the work. I was working a dead-end job and shit before that. It was a very brief time. And it was a boon to get a quote-unquote government job, even if I was a temporary. They wasn't paying shit. And they worked you to death, okay? You worked 6 days a week. Yeah, it was cool. The only thing that was shitty is I had started dating, the first time. And, I didn't want to be away from my girlfriend for too long. I was a simp. Not through no fault of my own at this point. But, Yeah, I remember this woman. We're just going to call her Lisa, okay? We're going to call her Lisa because she looked like a cross between Sheila E. and Lisa and Cold Jam. From Lisa and Cold Jam. She looked like whatever that would be right in the middle of that shit. She was extremely attractive. I know I'm saying she is a biological male. Extremely attractive and shit. Curvy and like just badass and shit. And the pants were so fucking tight. It was like what we thought was a camel toe there. You know, I don't know, maybe she was tucking that shit or something, but she would wear like these leather jackets and these skin tight pants with a fucking panty line, and she'd wear like these rider boots and shit. They used to call them back in the days, like the boots that jockeys wore and shit with the little brown sleeve on the top and shit, or she'll wear like some kind of like, I guess bondage boot or something. And she looked bad. Everybody was like thirsting out their mouth and shit for this woman and shit, that wasn't actually a woman. All right. And she was just like any woman, extremely attractive woman you would see. She was an octorope. Okay, she was light skinned, kind of with like a little bit of olive tint. She wore red lipstick and red earrings, and she looked like somebody that would not be out of place next to Jasmine Guy and shit back in the day, the heyday of A Different World and shit, or the Spike Lee movie School Days. She would be a gamma ray, no doubt. And she had a nice short kind of haircut, the tight on the sides and a lot on the top and shit. I kind of partial to that haircut for reasons that I'll keep to myself. But like she was badass, and like she would walk up and down the aisles. Just she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't trying to be an asshole, or he wasn't trying to be they, them, or whatever. I don't know how, we live in modern society. Everything has some kind of fucking branding on it. Lisa was not out, showing out or nothing and shit because she looked a certain way. And a lot of people were coming at her and getting, politely shot down. Very politely. She was very coy. Sounded like a woman, And she started hanging out with this guy. The only way I could describe this guy is a big guy, kind of built like a linebacker or whatever. Kind of looked like the Bubba Shrimp guy from the Forrest Gump movie and shit. Maybe a softer version of that guy. And they seem to be becoming a couple and shit. A lot of guys were just hating the fuck out of him. They like, oh, I hate that dude. He's going to be tapping that shit every night. And they used to crack jokes like how long it's going to take her to get pregnant, once he hit it and shit and all that crap. And, it's just funny and shit. And this Lisa would hold court with other similarly attractive women in the post office and shit. Even some women in their 30s and 40s. They would sit up, clicked out and shit. And everything would kind of form around her. So she was kind of like a queen bee, even though nobody knew the secret, right? So, after a while, I just kind of, they became invisible to me, and I didn't notice anything different. But, after a while, I noticed that I didn't see them regularly around, and, it was just kind of weird. I figured maybe they moved to another part of the post office, or somebody quit, or maybe they had some kind of blow up and shit, and the guy didn't want to show his face or whatever. And, this seemed to be borne out, because one time when I went to work on a Sunday, I saw him in the break area, and this guy looked like he had been drinking for like months, okay? He had the Nicolas Cage, red eyes, ragged asshole, leaving Las Vegas look. He had a 5 o'clock shadow. His skin was all clammy looking and shit, and his hair was nappy, and he was fucked up, and his clothes were all fucked up and shit. And I was like, man, what happened to this guy, man? And I didn't know how to approach him because it wasn't really close and everything. But, I was going to go back to my work area. As I was walking away, Lisa appeared, and she was wearing like some kind of one-piece dress, where there was skin tight and everything. And she walked into the break area, saw him, hesitated, nibbled a finger, and then gingerly went and sat in front of him, and leaned over and was saying something I couldn't hear from where I was, And at one point, she reached across the table and grabbed his, like, a pointer finger with both her hands wrapped around his pointer finger. Even the hands were girls' hands, okay? Usually, you say, like, your hands or feet or something. No. This was like, I don't know how the fuck they shoved that dude into a chick's body, but he leaned over and whispered, and the guy started tearing up and looking crazy and shit. And she leaned across the table. I thought they were going to kiss or something. And the guy threw her hand away, like violently and shit, where other people looked and shit. Like a dude in the back stood up and shit, and he screamed, "You're a man!" like loud as fuck. This guy had like a deep voice, so it like carried and shit, like echoed. And a girl had it fucked up look, like he like blasted out, like shock and awe. And the guy stalked off, and I never saw that guy again. But after that shit, I noticed that she didn't hold court anymore. The women were distancing themselves from her. And, you know, we were questioning the shit and shit. And so one of his friends told us that he had hooked up with her. You know, they were doing stuff, and he found a, you know, penis that was bigger than his down there. It's fucked up, right? Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, I'm just saying that was like, this was like 1988 or 89. This was 88. Okay? And what do we have today?
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
When he can't tell I'm a trans woman.